everybody. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Bill Has Opinions, your favorite Can't Miss BillSh. I am Laura Lavoie, and I'm here with Bill Perkins, who has opinions.
Hi there. Yeah.
And we've been off for a very long time, since before Christmas.
Oh, man.
Which feels like forever.
I haven't seen you since last year.
You were excited to make that joke.
I was. I've been saving up that one. Yeah, boy. That's my favorite thing about, like, especially like the last day of work in the year, you know, is you like tell everybody, I'll see you next year.
Exactly. Yes. No, and it is. That's one of the reasons why people work in offices. So you can do stuff like that.
I used to have this coworker. Goddamn, she was well past retirement, which was kind of sad because, like, she was going to retire, but so they had done this thing where the bank I worked for gobbled up the bank she worked for at some point in some merger, and they basically wanted her to quit. But they were like, "If you want to keep working here, there's a job for you in Charlotte." She lived in Philadelphia at the time, and so most people are like, "Fuck that, I ain't moving to Charlotte." You know, she actually took them up on the offer and moved to Charlotte. Well, it turns out you could get a lot more house in Charlotte than you could in Philadelphia for money.
Sure.
This was, of course, and this would have been in like the late 90s,
early 2000s.
Yeah,
right?
somewhere around there. Yeah. And so she had this huge fucking house in Charlotte, like, you know, just ginormous. And I guess she decided she loved having a huge house, right?
Right.
You know, but then when it was time to retire a couple years later, she goes and, you know, gets the like quote from the people, like, this is what you're going to get every month or whatever. And she's like,
right.
Like, she could have retired, but she would have had to given up the giant house.
Right.
She would have had to change her lifestyle, and she just wasn't willing. She's I'll just work forever,
right?
Because I'm happy with this. Anyway, so she was like this old lady, and every time I'd go get my hair cut, I'd come back, and she'd go, "You got your hair cut?" And I said, "I got them all cut." And she would just chuckle like this was the funniest, because it was a joke from her childhood, apparently.
Right. No, I'm very familiar with the joke for sure.
She just thought it was great that I would say this fucking old school joke. You know?
I'm glad at least one person was amused.
She was amused, and so actually I still say it because one person was once amused by this.
Exactly. So,
you know, I had an audience one time.
If you're just tuning in or you're watching sometime later, you may notice some changes around here.
Oh yeah.
We
repainted the bathroom.
We did, but we updated our branding.
Yeah.
So what I realized is we started right before the end of the year saying "Can't Miss BillSh." Like it started as just a random thing we said.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, Bill, we're missing the obvious low-hanging fruit here.
Yeah.
How do you not just dive into that?
Right.
How do you not?
There you go.
We changed the branding. It's still Bill Has Opinions, of course, but we are now Can't Miss BillSh. Which BillSh is also like someday maybe I know Bill Has Opinions has a long and storied history.
Yeah.
But BillSh also is just good, solid.
It's a good pun.
Right there.
There you go.
Right there. So we changed all the branding, we changed the logo and the colors and the images and everything. So we're back with a fresh.
We're not using that picture of me from 6 years ago. With the Harry, I might even be older than that shit.
The Harry Potter one,
Harry Potter one where you keep changing the hat.
Yeah. Well, I still need it. So I sent a message and I'm like, I need a new picture of you. And you're like, I'm a middle-aged man. I don't take new pictures of me. And I'm like, well, sure, but I need something I can put tiny hats on.
When I do take pictures of me, I'm always like, ugh. I'm like, that's why I don't do that. You know, like
I'll just say that this is a perfectly fine photo.
Okay, like, well, that's what my wife took.
That's what I said. Have someone take a picture of you.
Yeah, I think it was New Year's Eve. That's why I'm wearing a tux.
Yeah, but say you look delightful and jolly, and you have opinions.
Yeah, I was obviously drunk,
which is fine.
That's usually how you see me on this.
That's true. So that's how we get to it.
Yeah.
So we did some house cleaning. We did some changes. We did some redecorating for the year. So if you notice on all of our social media and everything, we've completely changed the look. So hopefully you like it. Please give us your opinions because we like opinions on our show.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it.
That's what we do here.
So since I haven't seen it, all right, I'm gonna first we'll do welcome.
Okay.
Because normally I would say to you, what have you been up to? since last I saw you. But that's actually the theme of this entire show.
Well, it's the most recent thing I've been up to. Yes, is the theme of the show. Other than that, though, I couldn't even tell you because it's been so long. Like that'd be a whole show in itself. Me like catching, like we could just do a catch up. Like,
right?
You want to play catch up for the next,
Well, the next time we take like a 4-week break, then sure.
Yeah.
but in the meantime, so while you were away on your cruise, which of course is the topic of the show, you also had a milestone birthday.
Oh yeah.
So
cheers
to half a century.
Woohoo! Yes.
Woohoo. You should cheers to that because you're still alive.
I'm still here. No, I mean I'm good. I got a lot to be like I said. Oh man, I got my new glasses prescription.
Oh, that's exciting.
Oh my god. Listen. I feel like last year it was a little. Well, I know what it was. It's because I tried to incorporate the reading glasses and the driving glasses together. It was a bad mistake. I don't need that. Well, the current doctor I went to like right back in November, for year end to get my thing. They were like, like you don't need reading glasses. Like you're good. Like if you ever like, they're like, do you have trouble reading? I'm like, well, like pill bottles and shit. It's like printed like microscopic. And he's like, yeah. Just get some of them damn off the shelf readers. You're good.
Yeah. Matt
he's
just went to a doctor and told him the same thing.
They're like, don't fuck with no reading glasses. You don't need reading glasses. Yeah, you need driving glasses. And I was like, okay, yeah. Well, anyway, these driving glasses I got, oh my god! Like I put them on the other, like they came in the mail, and I pulled them out.
And you were like, "Holy shit!"
I was like, "Oh my god, look at that! I can read that road sign that's like 2 miles away. Yeah. Fucking hell! Like I haven't been able to do that since 4 or 5 years ago. So
I haven't been able to do that since I was 8.
No, I've been able to do it in my lifetime, but it's definitely like it was one of those gradual, like it's actually probably 10 years ago when I could really,
it is,
but I didn't notice it.
For most people, it's gradual.
I didn't notice it until a few years ago. Like I can't see shit in front of me, like I definitely got to the point where if I'm driving at night, and somebody's giving you like, and you turn left at like Smoky Hill Road, and I'm like,
oh right, when the Smoky Hill
Road. What the fuck is Smoky Hill Road?
Yeah, it's one thing when it's like a major highway or something.
Yeah,
you're like, oh, it's
little road sign.
Yeah, tiny little road sign.
I can't read that shit.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
These like, oh my god, like game changer. These glasses because I can read like people's license plates again. I'm like, oh my god, I can see what that guy's license plate number is. If he does anything crazy, I'll remember it. So,
well, I'm glad that you can now see while you drive.
Read your bumper sticker.
That's important.
Don't tread on them. All that kind of stuff.
Don't tread on them. They do not want to be tread
Salt
on.
Life. I can read all that shit.
All that. Well, nobody can read Salt Life, to be fair.
Oh yeah, it's in a weird font. It's almost like a metal band, right?
Almost everybody I know.
like a Norwegian black metal band.
Yeah, no, almost everybody I know went through a phase where they had no idea what that actually said and thought it said Slut Life. Because that's literally what it looks like. I
double check when I see. Yeah, it does look like Slut Life.
It really does. And I'm like, dude.
And I'm like, I'm all about that.
Yeah, well, I mean,
cheers to the Slut Life.
Yeah, absolutely. So I won't dwell on this because I could probably take up an entire episode of this. But the most recent thing to happen to me since the holidays, which I'm sure lots of things happened over the course of that time.
Yeah.
But last night, my football team.
Oh shit! Yeah.
My football team, the Detroit Lions, notable for being not good,
right?
Got good this year.
They got more gooder this year.
Yeah, we won our first playoff game since 1992. I was still in high school.
How about that? Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
that was your graduating year, right?
First part of the year, I was in high school. Yeah.
Because Matt graduated in 92, so that's and the last time they won not a Super Bowl. They've never won a Super Bowl. The last time they won a championship game was in 1957, which just for comparison's sake, my 84-year-old mother graduated high school in 1957. Wow. So this is how long ago this happened. So they really have had a fantastic year. They played a really good game yesterday. It actually was super close. They won by 1 point.
Oh man, that's I mean, I know as a fan that's hard to watch, but that's good football. That
it was really good.
You don't want to watch somebody just walk all over somebody,
right?
That's never entertain. Like at some point, you just like, oh, this is done. And you turn it off, you know. But
well, and what made it more interesting is that we were playing our former quarterback who got traded to a different team.
oh yeah,
And so it's kind of a homecoming for him, but like an anti-homecoming.
in a bad way.
Right, yeah, because people, when he won the Super Bowl 2 years ago, Detroit turned out. Like, Detroit was like,
yeah, good for him.
It's like we won the Super Bowl because he went and played
This is the closest we've got.
closest we ever got. But this year, it was like, Stafford's coming back to our home. We're going to
murder him.
We're murder him. But we didn't quite murder him. He still played a very good game, and we won by 1 point.
Okay.
But anyway, so that's enough of that. I'm just very excited. I want to point that out.
Cheers to
internet.
that.
Cheers to that.
Speaking of cheers,
Yes.
I already finished my
You
first.
did finish your
I finished
first one.
Well, you know, actually, this one was, you know, we were saying it's a little sweet, so it was best drank like really cold.
So what?
I was trying to
that's
wolf
fair.
it down before I got
So
warm.
what is it exactly?
Saranac caramel porter.
Oh yeah, you gave me a taste of that. Show,
You didn't
show
like,
that up to the camera there. I did not like it.
She didn't like it.
It was a little too sweet. It tasted like on the picture, it actually has like a brownie sundae or something.
That's what it tastes like to me.
It tastes like a brownie sundae, and
Maybe-
that's too much beer for me.
I don't know.
Or too much
It was-
sweet for me.
it was just sweet enough, but I will say this: if it had gotten any warmer, it'd have been disgusting. So I hurried up. Although I'm usually a quick beer drink. I usually wolf them down, but that's why, because sometimes some beers when they get warmer they get more disgusting.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true.
And so I'm like, I'm gonna hurry up and drink it while it's good.
Well, and you brought me a seasonal from Highland, a
Yeah.
Nuts and Bolts, which is a coconut coffee porter.
Mhm.
And I was actually like, I'm savoring it because I actually find this quite
No,
good.
that's actually one you can like sip on.
Yeah,
Um.
it's really, really good.
No, I like
Super
that a
good.
lot. I drank 5 of 6, and I just saved that one for you.
Thanks.
But because I was like, hey, you know, you probably dig this. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, I like this a lot, and I don't always like coffee because I don't like coffee. I don't always like coffee beers, but
Oh.
some I do.
Yeah.
And what you're pouring right now, you also brought me one, which I will drink next, is the Strongman coffee porter. I forgot to mirror the image so this backwards to me, but you can see it the right way out there in TV land.
In La La Land.
Yeah, but Strongman coffee milk stout. Usually I mirror the screen and then I forgot. But anyway, it doesn't really matter in the end.
Well, I mean, it matters in the sense that when you try to
yeah.
do something, like you'll be raising the wrong hand.
No, and that's true. That is like sometimes when I would see like my hair was out of place and I'd be like,
you try to deal with it and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing.
it's with part of my hair. If I look at myself, if I just like fix my hair, it's fine. But if I look at myself and I'm like,
You overthink it, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, this one's really good too.
This is a taste. So it's a coffee milk
Oh
stout.
my God. That
Dark and roasty,
if you
says.
you said you don't like coffee, you might not like it.
No, I've had Strongman before. I
Okay.
do like Strongman.
It's like it is very coffee, but oh my God, it's tasty.
It
too.
is. I think what I like about it is with being a milk stout, it's kind of smooth. It's got that like real smooth
It definitely
mouth
is.
feel.
It's got that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
This is like a premium, like the coffee you get in an Italian restaurant
Yeah.
after dinner when you're having your tiramisu.
Right.
And you're like, hey, also bring me a cup of coffee, please. You know?
Right. So yeah,
Mm.
no, I'll get to that eventually.
Yeah.
And then you have a third beer that you may or may not get to. You
Oh,
might
I'll get to
you'll
it.
get
Trust
to
me.
it. So this is, what is that? A coffee blonde or a mocha blonde
World
stout?
Court Mocha Blonde Stout from Legal Remedy Brewing, which is out
Where
of
is
fuck
that?
is
Yeah, where
Rock Hill, South Carolina, just
Oh,
south
okay.
of Charlotte.
Okay. Yeah.
Rock Hill's a suburb of Charlotte, just
Yeah.
across the state line.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Never heard of them, but this was at
It looks
Trader
interesting.
Joe's.
Yeah, it's worth it. And then I have a backup. I don't know if I'll get to mine, but if I do. So as you all know, I've been drinking all the very light beers. So I've got a Founders All Night IPA, which is a Session Black IPA.
Weird.
So it's their low alcohol beer. It is 4.7%, but it's dark. It's still an IPA, so it has a little hops, but it's delicious. I've already had it, so I'm not that worried about trying it on air, but it's really, really good. So I threw that in the mix because I was drinking all the dark beers. But first I have to finish this, which I'm going to savor
Fair enough.
because it's delicious.
It is good.
Anyway, so that is that. And normally at this phase of the game, you know what I should do? I didn't make one. I'll make one eventually.
I don't know what you should do.
I don't know what I should do either. But I never know what I should do. Oh, we'll do this. Normally at this stage of the game, we just promote something random because
Sure.
nobody pays us anything.
It's a placeholder for one day.
One day, we're gonna have a sponsor. If you want to sponsor us, whatever you want to sponsor us to do, we'll
Whatever
talk.
level, we'll talk. Yeah,
We'll
we'll
talk.
talk business.
And I do want to say, which I have not created I should make a thing for it. We have brand new T-shirts with the new branding. Actually, let me go ahead and show this. It's not this whole thing. It's just the Can't Miss BillSh with the Bill Has Opinions logo over it. You can buy it on Threadless.
Yeah.
So we'll share that eventually, but I just want to throw that out there. But in the meantime, real quick, because we have a minute, why don't I tell you about my business?
Why don't you?
DPEG Marketing Company, meet your new website, dpegmarketing.com. If you need a website, you need blogging, you need marketing of any sort, talk to us. We do specialize in equine and agriculture and tiny home and breweries and fun stuff like that. But we'll talk to you about whatever you got. So if you need a website, talk to us. Anyway, back to the show.
So if I make nuclear missiles and I want to sell those,
you
could talk to me about.
I mean, I would talk to you about it, but I might not make your website.
All right, that's fair.
That's fair.
I don't actually make nuclear missiles. If I did, I'd probably be a lot wealthier.
I forgot a step, but that's okay. We'll just start from here.
Okay. What's the step?
Normally the step is our monologue.
Oh, that whole thing.
Right. Yeah. Not that we have this crazy outline, but it's not like we need one.
Right. Yeah.
But so why don't you start? So what I didn't ask you before the break was how was your break? And that's the entire theme of this entire show, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
The show is on cruising, not picking up gay people in a park.
Well, I got a good story about that, but I probably don't have time for it tonight, so I'm not going to go into it.
Which you do, you boo. Like if that's your jam, do it. Go pick up those nice men.
No, I mean I'm like not knocking. I'm just saying
right.
but it was a misunderstanding.
Anyway, that might be a story for another day.
Yeah, we'll talk about it one day, next whatever show.
We'll
let's come back around to that.
We will. That'll be in March, so we can make that happen.
All right.
Cruising, specifically cruise ships.
I kept thinking that too, though. Whenever you were
telling
me the story,
I was trying to figure out the right, because usually we have a very concise single word title.
Yeah. And I was like, you said cruising, and I was like, I wonder if I should tell that one story from college. And I was like, nah, I probably should.
We'll save that. But so you went on a cruise.
I did. I got on a boat and went somewhere. We went.
And back again.
They took me a round trip. They drove me all the way there and all the way back.
That's I think the hallmark of a cruise versus
there's people who don't get back on.
No,
and that's the whole thing. And there's a funny anecdote about that, but I'll come to that later in the show. I don't want to spill the beans on that just yet. However, so we went on. So this time of year we always go somewhere south of here just to get away from the gray for a minute.
Sure.
Usually it's Florida. Sometimes one time it was New Orleans. This time it was the Caribbean. Okay. So
and of those three places, Caribbean would be the place I'd go back to be fair. It's just harder to get to. Yeah.
No, I mean for sure. If
it were driving distance, no question.
I like the geography of Florida, but I don't care. It's problematic as shit. So I kind of have my issues with Florida a little bit.
100%.
I'm not saying I'm never going back because I probably am because it's what you can drive to.
I will too. In fact, yes, in a couple of months I'm going back.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying. Anyway.
I do. We had a whole episode about it. You can look back and it was called "What the Florida."
Yeah,
and we talked all about what the Florida.
All right, but geographically, Florida is a wonderful place. Just the wrong fucking people run that joint. That's all.
Apparently, yeah. But you went on a cruise because it was gray. Gross.
Yeah. So we got on a boat down in Charleston, South Carolina, and they took us down the coast into another country that's off the coast of Florida there. Mm-hmm. And that country is called the Bahamas.
Right.
Anyway, it was nice. But I learned some things. So part of this part of the point of this cruise was for us to determine whether or not we liked cruises.
Sure.
Because you guys have been pitching to us this Joko cruise thing for a couple of years.
Yes, which we will talk about more, but it's basically it's a theme cruise. It's like a convention on a boat.
Right,
basically.
right. And we've been like, well, maybe, I don't know, but we don't know how to feel about cruises and stuff. And then also we've banding around the idea of going to the Mediterranean. And we were trying to decide if we go to the Mediterranean, do we want to go and do like, hop from, do we want to, we go one place and stay there, or do we want to like go there and stay a couple of days and then fly to the next place or train to the next place or whatever the fuck you want, rent a car. I don't know. What do we want to do? Or do we want to take a cruise? Because a cruise would be convenient. We presume, right, and see all the different cities along the coast. Anyway, after doing this, the answer is yes. Yes, cruise is the answer. We will cruise the Mediterranean. We will, because okay. So hold on.
No, you got
I had notes.
You got your notes.
Yeah.
And we'll start with your notes because I imagine a lot of my notes are related to your notes.
Probably.
So we'll start there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of them.
Okay, so here's what's good. Cruising it's a cheap way to travel. Okay?
Relatively.
I mean, it's not cheap. It's not like,
But it's I guess what to say, it's an inclusive way of
it's
travel.
An inclusive.
Like you pay one cost.
There's not a cheap way to travel.
Right.
Like traveling in itself, you're going to spend money. I mean, even a fucking road trip costs you money. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like you got gas, you got fucking hotel rooms, you got eating out,
But this is an inclusive cost.
Yes.
So you get your food,
so you know what
your
your cost
drink,
is?
yes,
100%.
from all together.
In fact, so it's not. Is it cheap? No, but it's cost effective enough that going into it, Emily was like, "How in the fuck do these people make money?" That's what she kept. She was like, she looked up all these like stats and stuff. She's a stats person. She's all into this kind of shit, and she's like, there are 2 guests per employee on the cruise ship.
Right.
She's like, how in the fuck?
Oh, well, I'll tell you how that goes.
Oh, no, I'll tell you. We sorted it out.
You figured that out?
No, it didn't take long. But going into it, these was like, that's how she felt. She was like, how in the fuck does this make money? They give away all the fucking food? Like, I don't understand how, like, what kind of shit is this? Like, what, like this sounds like it's in the business to lose money. It is not, in fact, in the business to lose money. Turns out. Anyway, but yes, the reason it's kind of cost effective is the lodging and the meals are right there, right?
Right.
It's part of your cost.
Right.
And yeah, she said, how can you even afford it? Well, it turns out the way you can afford it is upselling is one of the ways.
That is one of the ways.
They will come around every now and again and they'll try to get you to buy something. Or, oh God, I got taken with
like
this.
A floating timeshare.
It kind of is. So the first night we're at dinner, we're in a dinner that we already paid for. Like, you're sitting down in a fancy dining hall or whatever, and they come around. They're like, hey, but this guy comes around and he goes, hey, I've got complimentary cocktails for you. He says compliment,
sure.
and I don't know how you feel, but the word complimentary to me means gratis, free. Have one completely
free. Yes, that is what that should mean.
Turns out. That's not what he meant. The cocktail, the drink in the glass was complimentary, but the glass that it came in was $10, and you were not to return the glass to him. You had to take the glass
because you paid for it,
right?
When you agreed to drink the free drink,
apparently.
Which if you left the glass on your table, you're still charged.
You were still charged. Yes. No. So I fell for this shit one time. Fool me twice, shame on you. Me?
No, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, I won't get fooled again.
The point is, I won't get fooled twice.
Thank you, George W. Bush.
Anyhow, so that happened. That's a thing. Oh, funny fact. The cocktail tasted like Robitussin.
Oh, yeah. Many of them do.
B, not 10 minutes after I got that glass out of my suitcase, the cat knocked it on the floor. It shattered into bazillion pieces.
Yeah, of course.
So I don't even have a $10 glass. Haha. Anyways, so that's one of the ways they make money.
Yeah, upselling for sure. Yeah,
upselling. I'm secondly, shitty quality. Just because they provide you with meals doesn't mean they are high quality meals. Like, and the kinds of people who are impressed by this food on this cruise Oh my God. Like there are people who are like, oh my God, can you believe they just give you all the food you can eat? Well, yeah, they do. I mean, it's all the food you can eat, but it's not all the food I want to eat. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the cruises we went on had a sushi buffet. We made that mistake once. You did not want to eat
it's like gas station sushi,
yeah,
right?
The prepaid sushi buffet. Like you wanted to like it, but
she aged out of buffets in general. Like I don't even like them. Like there's a buffet here locally in the Asheville area that on your birthday will provide you a buffet, Asian buffet, right?
Right. Yeah.
Is that the name of it? No, it's Asiana.
It was that closed.
Oh, okay.
It's now become an upscale Asian market.
Well, that's better.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Because it sucked as a restaurant. It sucked as a restaurant. Like their food was honest to God gross and terrible.
Yes.
And I got to the point where even at the price of free, I wouldn't eat there.
Right, exactly. No, it was not good.
Like people were like, what do you want to do on your birthday? I was like, go to Denny's, I guess, because Asiana's terrible.
No, by the way, I will never, until I qualify for AARP discounts, I'm not choosing my birthday dinner based on what's free.
Okay.
I will never do that.
There used to be a place, who was it? There was a burrito joint in town that provided a free, it was Urban, was it Urban? No, it was the other one. Rio, the one that went out. Right?
Both of them are gone.
Oh, goddamn.
So,
well, one of the burrito places in town.
Old. We've been here a long time.
Yeah. Well, a long time ago, there used to be a burrito place in town that would give you a free burrito on your birthday, and that was actually worth the shit. And the rest of the free birthday shit was terrible. Like, fucking flapjacks and some sausage at Denny's.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Whatever.
No,
and
I want to pay for a nice birthday dinner.
Anywho,
is what I want to do. The
point I'm making is free food is never, like, there's no such thing as a free lunch. As
free food is the quality that free food is. Like, that's just
100%. And there are people on this boat, and Emily kept making this analogy. She kept saying, this is the Myrtle Beach of cruises. She kept saying,
Well, and to your point, Myrtle Beach of cruises, you went, so there are multiple cruise lines.
Sure, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you went on one that is truly considered the Myrtle Beach of cruises.
Right, yeah.
Which Matt and I, our first cruise, we've only been on 2, so it's not like we have that much to compare. Our first cruise was also on the Myrtle Beach of cruise lines. And people had actually warned us against taking it, but it was the only one that did a short 5-day cruise. Yes. At the time, I was working like a regular full-time job.
Yeah. And
I couldn't take off more than a week at a time.
Yeah.
So I needed to be able to take that time off. So that was the best we got, right?
Right. And to be fair, like, I didn't have a horrible time. I had a good time. I had a good enough time that we booked more cruises, okay? This is our takeaway. We had a good time.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, so we consider ourselves foodies. I mean, my wife runs a restaurant,
right?
Sake, we know the difference between shit and shinola. I guess.
This is a bad.
Oh boy.
Hi, Toast.
Hi.
If you're not watching right now, you're missing out on a Toast. You really need to get out of the way.
Toast cam.
Yeah, Toast cam. We'll just keep talking.
Anyways, I'm just saying we know shit from shinola, and so, like, there's food and there's good food, like I can eat for sustenance. I mean, shit, I'm actually not terribly picky, but I do, I gradiate it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure,
I can eat a can of corned beef hash and be happy,
right?
But it's $2,
right?
Like, and at a certain level. Anyway, so they like. There are people though who go on this cruise and they're like, "Oh my God, man! Like they got all this food, they keep feeding you." Well, I mean they do, but
right.
Yeah. That being said, though, there was a couple things that were in the free range that were still good.
Yes.
Okay.
We had the same experience.
The Guy Fieri Burger Bar.
Oh, we didn't have a Guy Fieri Burger Bar.
Okay, shit. Listen. I know I knocked the guy a couple weeks ago because he charged me $17 for beer at the airport in Mexico, but his free burger bar on the cruise.
Matt had the same experience. Well, not a free thing, but he went to a Guy Fieri restaurant and was like, you know what? I wanted to hate it, but it was absolutely delicious.
I don't actually, he's one of those people like like you see a picture of him and you want to punch him, right?
Yes, 100%.
But he seems like he's a kind of a nice, like when you think about it, he's a nice guy. He provides free advertising to mom and pop restaurants all over the fucking country.
And apparently he makes good food.
Yeah.
Or has good recipes.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, actually. Oh, let me tell you. So his burger bar, I usually eat one burger a month for health reasons, right? Like I don't think burgers are like a thing you should constantly eat. You
Right,
know?
sure. That's fair. Yeah.
So I usually have one a month, and it's usually like a $20 burger at a fancy.
Burgers to me are special occasions.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, it's a tavern burger. You know what I'm saying? Like I go to a place that serves a big fucking honking burger like this, and I eat one of them a month. I don't go to fucking McDonald's and shit like that. I don't do it.
Yeah, no.
Anyways, this was that kind of quality burger. It was free. He had a great toppings bar. I don't know if you guys remember. Well, you know, there used to be a place in the Mid-Atlantic region called Roy Rogers.
Oh, I remember Roy Rogers. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know how far they extended, but I know they were in the Mid-Atlantic.
I mean, I remember it existing. I don't remember ever.
Okay, well, so the thing that was spectacular about Roy Rogers was basically a Jack in the Box, except for they had a condiment bar, kind of like Fuddruckers also.
Sure.
Okay,
yeah.
If you remember that.
Like Fuddruckers.
Fuddruckers actually is probably more analogous to Fuddruckers because that's a higher quality burger. And you have a condiment bar. You dress it yourself. You do it. You put whatever the fuck you. Anyway, so this Guy Fieri place was like that. Like, oh my god! So they give you a burger and fries, and you go over to the bar and you put whatever the fuck you want on it. And they had one of the toppings, which I've said this I think in previous times was one of the toppings was chili.
Yeah.
Which, you know me, I'm like that's. You know, I hate fucking Five Guys because they don't offer chili as a topping. And I'm like, how are you going to do business in the South and not offer chili as a topping?
Right.
Like, you can fuck right off. I'm
Right.
not buying it. I don't give a shit if you do give me a goddamn bag full of fries. I don't care. No chili. Anyways, Guy Fieri, he has this chili, and it's not just chili. Oh my god, it's like Cincinnati chili, but I don't mean it's on top of spaghetti. I mean it's got that cinnamony.
Oh yeah, Midwestern chili.
Midwestern
I guess,
chili.
Yeah, because even
Oh my god,
Detroit style chili.
But it was a little bit hotter than Cincinnati. Like it was like Cincinnati chili with a zing. I don't know. It was fucking excellent. I would just dump that shit over my fries, and I was like, these are great.
Right.
Anyway, so that was free, no upcharge, and that was awesome. Okay.
So I do want to. So I know we're going to get to the next statement because I want to point out So we went on 2 cruises. One was this Myrtle Beach of cruises.
Yeah.
The second one was on Royal Caribbean, which is a slight upgrade for cruise.
Yeah.
And it was also a specialty cruise, which we'll get into later. But the food wise, like you got your standard fare, like you went to the table at the main dining room, you could order whatever's on whatever menu, right?
Right.
But then they had the free sushi bar and other bar, and then so what I'm getting to, this is what's complicated about it. One of the things that you could do was order room service, free room service, which is stuff from, especially breakfast, stuff from the dining room, right? So one morning we ordered room service, and we looked at the little menu and we ordered, scrambled eggs, which are terrible, by the way.
Oh, the eggs are powdered eggs.
Never eat eggs on a cruise. That is my one.
Well, except for the omelette bar. The omelette bar usually
go to the omelette bar, yes, but don't just scoop the egg.
No, the eggs are the wet eggs from a hotel buffet.
They're just they're powdered eggs.
Yes.
So we ordered this breakfast, and we knew, and we tried to avoid all the traps that we knew we were going to get into.
Yeah.
So we tried to order things, and one of the things on the menu was chocolate donuts, and we're like, chocolate donuts? That sounds great. Like, who doesn't like a chocolate donut? You know what arrived at our room?
A yeast roll with chocolate on it?
Yes.
You know why I know that?
Because you just
no, because I had beignets. I had beignets that I paid extra for, by the way, that were yeast rolls with powdered sugar.
They were literally just the dinner rolls from like the last night's dinner service, but with like crunchy, like bad chocolate, not even good chocolate.
Oh, it wasn't even a good frosting.
No, oh my god, it was like
half melted semi-sweet morsels.
Yeah, that they just dipped it in and then gave it to us. Oh my god, it was gross.
Yeah,
and that we laughed, but we still laughed that like we ate them.
Yeah,
we ate some of them.
I ate. Listen, I ate 3 of those fucking beignets.
You're like, this is a fucking dinner roll with powdered sugar on it.
I knew what it was, but I also paid $6.
Right.
Listen, and this is the thing I had to say several times during the cruise. I would have food in front of me that I was like, I'm not loving it. And then at some point I go, why am I still like, I'd push it aside. I'm like, I didn't pay for this. Why am I trying to fit? Like, it's not like I paid, like, you know, like when I go.
You prepaid for it.
Yeah, but here's the thing, because I could go somewhere and get another plate of food.
Sure.
So I was under no obligation to finish.
Correct. Yes.
And I kept having to try and tell myself and my entire party that. I was like, you don't have to finish that. We didn't pay anything for that. Fuck it. Like, let it go.
Well, you paid for infinite food.
Yes,
like infinite free
But go
food.
get something else.
Yes,
I'm saying, like, don't keep eating the thing you're not enjoying.
Yes.
Because there's something else. Go to the fucking Lido deck and get yourself goddamn plate of mac and cheese or whatever, you know, and then that'll probably it'll be better than whatever.
That'll give you. So I'm sure what is one of the, I know we've strayed a little, but one of the things for food was treat yourself to some of the paid food options.
Yes. Oh God.
On your boat.
So yes, having learned the thing about the free food, you know, that while it's free, it's not really great. I mean, there were things. I'm not trying to knock it all. Like there were times when you'd be like, okay, yeah, they got this right, you know.
And you wouldn't go hungry, even if you didn't like anything they gave you. You had sustenance. You would
eat, yeah. But you know, but there were things that were better than other things. And like I said, the Guy Fieri Burger Bar, they also had a really good pizza stand. It was like brick oven pizza that I wouldn't knock. Like that shit was good. It was better than like 3/4 of the pizza places here in Asheville, you know.
Sure.
So yeah, that was great. I mean, they didn't have a lot of choice. I mean, it was like cheese or pepperoni, but I mean, fuck, I eat Little Caesars, so I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Anyway, but I mean, this was like brick oven pizza with a good crust.
Sure.
So, great. But yes, one night, my birthday, we went to the Italian restaurant called Cucino del Capitan. Or something like that, you know.
Is it like a restaurant of the captain?
Yeah, the captain's kitchen.
The captain's kitchen.
Yeah. And this place, let me tell you, it was $20 upgrade, but we had like what I would consider $60, $70 meals. We had every appetizer on the menu. Every one of them was fucking excellent.
Mm-hmm.
We had several different entrees. Everyone was fucking excellent. We had several desserts. Fucking excellent. I had after dinner coffee because it was an Italian place, and I do that.
Right.
Excellent. That place. Got service. Excellent. I will say this: the service at some of the free places, some of the people were a little dour. Like they were, you know, like you're not. So your gratuities already included. Also, I'll say on the cruise.
Yeah.
And some of these people act like that. Like.
Well, there's again that plays back to the other thing you learned that we'll talk about in a minute about how cruises afford to have cruises.
Yeah.
So that comes down to some of that. But yes,
I'm saying that my waitress at the pay restaurant was a step above. She was so actually though. I'll also say this: she was from Nigeria. And I found that all the crew members who were from Nigeria were the most pleasant people. This was just my experience was it was Nigeria. Yeah, the Nigerians. They also have the best names. Her name was Patience. I had one at breakfast one morning.
Patience is a good name.
Her name was Glory.
Yeah,
they always had names like that: Blessed and Glory and Patience, things like that.
When I was writing fan fiction as a kid, I named characters Patience all the time because it was the Guns N' Roses song.
Oh yeah, just a little Patience.
Just a little Patience.
Okay.
But yeah, I love the name.
It was a short character.
But no, absolutely. And so on the last cruise we went on, which was a specialty cruise, the food was meh. Like like the prepaid food. Yeah. The things we already paid for.
Right.
Was meh. And we did eat it most of the time because it was available and it was fine. But one night we treated ourselves. We went in the fancy restaurant on board this ship, or one of the fancy restaurants, was a Mexican restaurant.
Uh-huh.
I think it was called Sabor. And holy shit, it was amazing.
Oh, Sabor is actually if it's the chain Sabora, it's actually Colombian. No,
it's not a chain.
Okay, because there's a Sabora in Tampa, Florida, and then there's one in somewhere else I've been.
It was not a chain,
Okay.
And it was spelled slightly differently in a Spanish way I don't understand. And but the food was out of this world. Like it was incredible. Like they did tableside guacamole, and like everything was incredible.
Oh, this is incredible, by the way.
Oh,
this,
good.
This coffee blonde.
Nice.
It's kind of like
the blonde stout, which is a whole different.
It's kind of like Evening Joe, if you call Evening Joe.
Yeah, but it's a blonde stout is a very specific style, which is different from what Evening Joe was. So
it's a little.
It should have a little more of a mouthfeel, a little more body.
It's a little sweeter. It might be too sweet for you, but I don't know. Anyway, you can have a swig if you want.
I'll take a tiny taste.
All right. Sorry. Don't mean to interrupt the flow here, but
It smells great. Actually, that's really good. The smell, like the nose you get off of that to start before you even drink it. That's actually pretty good
stuff.
I like it more than the caramel porter.
Yeah.
For sure. Anyway, so yes. So treat yourself to a paid
do at least one,
At least one. Just to I guess in some ways it's sort of like treat yourself to what everybody else is missing. Like this
This
is the secret thing that nobody else knows about.
It is the secret sauce because I think most of the people are there to they think they're just going to eat all they can eat, and that's fine. But like I said, if you're into food, if you like flavors and food matters to you, and it's not just about eating to survive, there's a difference, and the paid for eating will be different. Although I will say, well, one of the things, one of my people who was on the cruise with me got the
norovirus.
No, I was gonna say
I got excited for a second.
He did not order the norovirus. She ordered the short rib, which was freaking. This was also at the captain's table or whatever. I had chicken parmesan, which is kind of pedestrian, but they were out of the eggplant, so I was like, all right, fine, whatever. Bring the chicken then. Right. Goddamn, this piece of chicken was like the size of my plate.
It was a pterodactyl.
It really was. It was like, I don't know what's going on here. Everything was
that's not natural. Chicken should not be that large.
Right.
Ever.
Well, I mean, we've done things,
Right. Exactly. All right. I know you got a bunch more stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Really quick, I want to mention before we get to the rest of your list.
Okay.
So my old boss's boyfriend, he was a human resources guy. He took a job as a human resources manager on a cruise, and he would send emails to his family and friends, and they were amazing. He was a great writer. He should have been a writer in another lifetime. But what I learned, well, I mean, he still could be. I don't know. Right. But I don't know if he's still dating my ex-boss. I don't know. But he was I got a lot of insider information about how a cruise is run by reading those emails. And one of the things that I learned was food-wise, right? They serve all the food to you, but the crew still needs to eat. Yeah. So they would every night make a curry out of whatever they didn't sell. So everything, all the proteins, everything went into one big pot of curry. And the staff would all eat that. Wow. And that's it. That's the end of it.
So they don't get the regular buffet that everybody gets. They get They get
a mix of whatever the main dining room doesn't sell. Okay. They throw it all in a pot and make a curry out of it.
Interesting.
So this is how cruise lines afford cruises.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's one of the ways. And the other thing I learned was there's another little thing that happens on the cruise, and that is on one of the decks, there's a thing called a casino.
Oh, yeah. There's always the casino.
And I feel like maybe that makes money.
Does make a little money.
Because I know that my wife lost $40 in a quarter machine. You know the little machine with the shelf of quarters that goes back and forth?
I'm familiar with the shelf.
And it looks like it's any minute now. I'm gonna knock these out. I'm gonna get it.
They never do. Never once.
$40 later.
Never once.
Nope. I mean, you make $1 or $1.50 or something.
All right, it'll
give you just enough to keep
you playing.
Yeah, but you don't make enough to get that $40. Here's the funny thing. Actually, one of the people I'm on the cruise with, actually is good at gambling. He won several hundreds of dollars at craps and roulette. And then this is funny. So one day we're in Nassau. We get back to the boat and we run up to the one deck to hang over the side of the boat to watch the latecomers.
Oh yeah, that's always fun, right?
Like
the people that almost missed the boat.
Because in the boat's like toot toot.
A cruise ship will not. They will leave. They're not waiting for you.
You will be stuck wherever you're at. Like they will not wait for your ass.
If you are not on time, it will never wait for you.
Mm-hmm. No, they actually. I found this out. They actually leave your. They will go open the safe in your room and leave your documents at the port, so that if you were stuck in Nassau or wherever the fuck, you have your passport and shit, and you can take that up with the consulate. So at least you're not stuck in Nassau without your passport.
I guess, yeah.
Provided that you left it in your because that's the only place they're going to look.
Right. That's it.
They're going to. They will look
not there.
They will look in your safe, and if it's not in your safe, fuck you, I guess. That's between you and the consulate.
Well, and yeah, that's what we learned. And I also know a guy who got left behind because he got stuck in a volcano, and that's a whole other story.
Stuck in a volcano.
He fell down a volcano.
He was trying to return the ring.
He was.
And the spider bit him.
Because my particular neurodivergence is I cannot be late for things. So, like, if the boat said it was leaving at X time, I was like, we have to be back a half an hour before it leaves. I was like, we're not missing this boat. So we did the same thing.
And the hour before it leaves, you were not a block away.
Yeah, exactly.
You were like,
we could have a drink.
We can have a drink at Senior Frogs right there off the.
And that's it. That's the extent of it. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yes. So we would also do the same thing. We'd run up to watch.
Yes.
Because inevitably somebody would be running up to the boat.
This is the funny story. So John who's in my party. He's won a lot of money at the casino. And we're up there on the deck watching to watch. He goes to pull his phone out, like right after the boat goes toot toot.
Oh no!
The boat goes going toot toot, and he's like, "Oh, this is gonna be funny when people come running around the court. I'm gonna film it, put it on TikTok or whatever." And he goes to pull his phone out, and as he does, his phone's got like a rubberized case on it, and I guess his earnings were also in his pocket. And he pulls like $240 out of his pocket, and it just floats.
Yeah.
It floats gently down.
I knew that was coming.
It floats gently down, and it's in the briny deep. If you want $240, it's right off the pier in Nassau, Bahamas. Just go straight down, and you can have it.
Yeah.
He lost it, but at least it was all winnings. So it wasn't like
it wasn't his own money.
It wasn't his paycheck or anything.
Right. No.
So he could only be so mad, and. It was just kind of easy come, easy go, I guess.
Right,
Like, there you go.
And I don't do casinos a lot. I might throw like a nickel or something in the slot, but I don't.
You're going to lose a lot of money.
I'm not. But Matt plays poker.
Yeah.
And the last cruise we were on, which was the Joko cruise, which is a celebrity specialty cruise. So there's a bunch of people on there. There was a celebrity poker tournament, and Matt went to play. And he was playing with Will Wheaton. Yeah. Of course, of Star Trek fame. Will Wheaton. And Michael Ian Black. If you watch The State,
I love Michael Ian Black.
So yeah, he played poker with those guys. And my favorite part is Matt's really good at poker, and he got pretty far into the game. And the game ended, whatever, and a bunch of the celebrities were like, "Oh, a bunch of us are going back to our room and play private poker. You want to come?" And he's like, "No, I'm gonna go to bed." I'm like, "Matt, Will Wheaton said go play poker. Let's go fucking play poker with him."
Right? Yeah.
But he didn't. He came back to the room and went to bed.
If Will Wheaton and Michael Ian Black said they were having a threesome,
you're like, yes,
you're going to their room. You're like, well, I mean, yeah, all right, why not?
He came back to sleep. It also was because that cruise, because it's basically a convention on a ship.
Yeah,
that was a cosplay night. So it was like we were all dressed up in our steampunk vest.
Yeah.
And so I had gone to bed because I don't care about poker, and I went to bed. So he's still in like his steampunk vest and a top hat and goggles.
Yeah.
And I think at some point he was like, "No, I just need to go back.
I need to take this vest off.
I need to take all this off.
I don't want to wear this waistcoat anymore."
Yes, I'm done. But still, so yes, the casino is also one of the.
And I will say this, actually, even though I was not on a con at sea, cruises in general are like a con at sea because they have activities all fucking day. Like
100%.
We had an app called the Hub app, and it was kind of like the Dragon Con app. Like,
sure, yeah.
Like it was constantly telling you like what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? You know, and you would like, and I thought that was kind of cool. Like I was like, okay, I get this. This is 100%. And I will say this also, like doing the things makes it worth your money. Like you funded the things already. You've prepaid for all the things.
Correct. So do as many.
Do them or don't do them, but it's your money that paid for
the
these.
more you do, the better, because you've already paid
and
for
I said the same thing, I think, when we had the thing about Disney World. Like, go to all the fucking shows and go to all the, you know, everything you can do. Like, we tried to make the best of it, and we went to a lot of things. We went to shows and we went to activities and games and, you know, whatever, and had a blast, you know, because you paid for it, right? Like, they do all these, they provide all this shit, so you might as well take advantage of it because you did pay for it. You don't want to just sit in your fucking room all day, and do nothing.
I know we have about 10 minutes left of the episode, and I know we have gotten to barely everything.
Okay, well, I'm just going to briefly run through the list of activities that I saw on our cruise, okay, because it's quick. They have a water park, they have sports. They got games, they got karaoke, they got mini golf, they got entertainment like Broadway type shows or musical reviews. Yeah, comedians. Oh my God, the comedian, if you call that comedy.
We have the same issue. And
they got the casino. So you can do all that kind of shit. And then there's pools too. Sorry, pools. Oh, yeah, I didn't mention that because I don't give a fuck about pools and hot tubs, although we did sit in the hot tub one night. Oh, there's a deck that's exclusively child free.
Yeah.
Or 2 decks, I guess, actually. Like there's the top 2 levels, like 10 and 11 are child free, and there's a pool, and then there's further up there's a bar, and a hot tub, and there's no kids allowed. Oh, we met a girl who's a waitress at the King Ludwig's in Helen, Georgia.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Apparently, her employers take their entire crew on a cruise.
That's awesome.
Because Oktoberfest is just a fucking nightmare.
Right. So they want to, give them a little something.
So
something
in the wintertime, they take them on a cruise.
That's
she was actually like really fun to talk to. And her and Emily were commiserating about the way people treat wait staff and shit, you know. So anyway. So
one of the cruises that we went on was the same kind of cruise that you went on. I was a Carnival cruise. Yeah. Which again, I heard stories, and I was actually informed not to go on it, but it's the shortest available, like if you want to go on like a little short 5-day thing. Yeah. It's really the only game in town. Everything else is 7 days or more. Yeah, and you got to do that. But so the next cruise. So you've been on this one cruise, but you are going to go on future cruises. Yeah. The next cruise we went on, which I highly recommend, actually, we're trying to get these guys to go, and maybe one day we will. Yeah. Was the Joko cruise. And Joko is Jonathan Colton. He's a nerdy musician guy. Yeah. And every year he does a cruise that's basically a convention on a boat, as we mentioned. And it was so much fucking fun. I had an absolute blast. There's gaming. Like, we didn't do the gaming because, like, gaming's not really our jam. Yeah, but Emily would do it. Yeah, if it's your jam, do it. They had a whole room dedicated to gaming. Yeah. When we went on it, it was part of another cruise ship. So, like, Joko Cruise was a section of a regular cruise. There were other regular cruises. Okay, this was like the beginning. Since then, it has become its own. I'm like, cruise. I can't imagine that. Yeah. That must be weird. That'd be weird for the old people. When we stayed at the Omni. Yes. And there half the Omni was people there to see the SEC kickoff game, and the other half were Dragon Con. Absolutely. And it was fine because we had most of our events were us. So like. Obviously, we almost never saw the regular cruisers, but every once in a while we'd see a regular cruiser. But then, you'd go to dinner and you'd be like shoulder to shoulder with John Hodgman, and you're like, oh, "Hi, John Hodgman. Hi, welcome to dinner. Yeah. You're right next to our table. Have a good night." But so it was super fun in that way, and of course, the Joko cruise, all of it centers around the entertainment, right? So Jonathan Colton and Amy Mann is on every single cruise because apparently they're besties. And all kinds of celebrities. Like I said, we had Michael Ian Black and Will Wheaton. We had, they were in John Hodgman. All kinds of celebrities. And they would do shows, like whether it was music or comedy or a combination. Paul and Storm, who I really love. they're actually the co-administrators of this whole thing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So they actually do all the booking and stuff. And so here's the thing, TV land, that I'm really sad about. This coming year, which we had already planned, we're already going on a different vacation.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that my favorite musical comedy artist of all time is going to be on the cruise this year. And holy shit, if I wasn't a little disappointed that we couldn't go. So Rachel Bloom is on the cruise. I'm hoping she announces like she had so much fun.
Yeah, that she just comes
She's
back
like,
forever.
I'm gonna go back next year.
Yeah.
And we can book it next year.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I hope you get to see her somewhere at some point, you know.
Well, see, here's the thing. And I think she would actually appreciate this in a weird way because of her type of comedy. But if I am stranded on a boat with Rachel Bloom, I would be like weirdly stalking her sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, Rachel Bloom is at the coffee bar. We're gonna go sit at the coffee bar and act natural. Hi, Rachel Bloom.
How natural are you gonna act?
How's your coffee this morning? Like, the weird part is based on her type of comedy. I actually think she would get it. But
so speaking of that, the coffee, you're gonna want to go to one of two places. Not for me. I'm actually okay. Like I'm not a coffee snob. Like as long as coffee's better than gas station coffee, I'm like pretty much like whatever the fuck, it's fine. And the coffee on the cruise to me was like it was better than that. It was like after dinner at an Italian restaurant, or like the coffee at a hotel banquet. Which that's the only thing that's good at a hotel banquet to me is the coffee. Usually.
Sure.
Like the dry chicken is not good, but the coffee after dinner, dessert is usually like, oh yeah, this is pretty good. Anyway, it was fine to me. But my wife is a little bit of a snob about coffee, and so to her, there were two places on the ship that you could get a good coffee, and they cost money.
Unless you buy like the unlimited drinks package or something.
Okay, so we did the math, and it turns out that we couldn't drink the unlimited drinks package without like killing ourselves.
Absolutely, no, that's what it comes down to.
Yes,
but then you end up paying.
Yes, and sadly, I also paid $10 a beer for beers I did not like. Oftentimes, I didn't learn until the last 2 days of the cruise. I was at a bar, and I happened to look behind them, and I was like, wait, is that Pilsner Urquell?
Yeah.
They're like, yes. And I'm like, give me that. That's what I want. Like previously I had drank several, like they have craft beer, but it's not good. Like, it wasn't stuff.
It's like Red Hook. Like it's like
I guess
Goose Island.
It was called like Red Frog or something. Yeah. I think it was a house brand, because they had a Red Frog pub.
Some brewery did like a.
It was I don't know. But it was not good.
Yeah.
But listen, I didn't learn until almost the end that they had Pilsner Urquell, and they also had when we went to the Italian place, I realized they had Peroni, which is also elevated compared to the other shit I'd been drinking.
Right.
Anyway, so I said, hey, give me the Pilsner Urquell, and they bring it to me, and then I'm like, and I'll have a glass, please.
Yeah, exactly.
And they tried to give me they gave me a pint glass that was made of plastic.
You're like, no.
And I waited until the person turned their back, and I set the plastic glass down, and I reached over there and I picked up an actual pint glass. And I said, I'm sorry, but for $10 fucking, I'm having it in the glass I want to drink it out of. Thank you. Like I didn't actually say that out loud. I just took the glass and poured my beer and went on with my business.
We're not going to get to excursions
now.
Oh, God, we're not even going to come close. But I do want to point out to that point is the real way cruises can afford to be cruises is their employment model is exceedingly exploitative. Like they will, because it's on international waters.
Sure. Yeah.
They can hire people from all over the world.
Yes.
And pay them legit nothing. Everybody
on our cruise was either from Indonesia, Nigeria, Uganda, South Africa, Zimbabwe. I don't think there was I think that's about it. There was no, the only Americans working were in the entertainment
or Scott Miller, the cruise HR director.
Okay.
Right. Then they do that on purpose.
Yeah.
Right? They hire
management might be American, but
management is you never see that.
And like I said, the entertainment, we actually were on a excursion with two of the entertainers and we spoke to them for a few minutes. One of them, the girl was British and the guy was from New Jersey. But they told us a lot of like they told us some
Insider,
stuff. Yeah, some insider
exactly.
stuff, which was interesting because we were like, hey, how does this work? You know, and they were like, yeah.
And that's how it works.
Yeah.
And that's why, to your point of, you know, the staff in the regular restaurants, you know, that's prepaid and no gratuity and whatever.
No,
they don't even see the money that you paid. Like,
oh, really?
they're paid they're paid not minimum wage.
Okay.
To work there. So they don't see, like, if you prepaid gratuity, they don't see that. That goes to the cruise industry.
Huh.
And they don't see any.
Okay, because they made me feel like
of course
I already
they
paid
do.
Yeah, because to me, I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, that's already gratuity. And then I'm like, and I still did like sometimes add gratuity, but only when people were nice.
And sometimes
when people were salty, I was like, fuck you, you already got gratuity.
Well, the thing is, they're being so exploited. Like, that does, even if you added the gratuity,
they probably won't get it.
They don't get that either.
Oh,
if you handed them $1, if you handed them $10, they get that.
Well, I did give $20 to my cabin guy, you know, my man.
Yeah.
Because he was great. He brought me ice every fucking day for my cooler. Like, he filled my cooler up with ice every day.
Right.
And he cleaned my room and he knew our names, which I'm like, that's above and fucking beyond. Like, and I 100% certain that they give the cabin jobs to the people. Everybody was like, when they're hiring, they're like, can you remember people's names? And they're like, yes, I can. They're like, okay, you're in a cabin thing, you know, like, yeah. And he has like 10 cabins that he's like in charge of or whatever.
Exactly. No, the staff on a cruise ship, and the reason they can do that is because American employment law doesn't apply.
Sure, yeah.
So you can pay somebody 100%. $2 an hour.
Yeah,
and that's it. Like, $2 an hour and no gratuity.
None of these ships are flagged in the U.S. I mean, like,
none.
I mean, I did notice that, and I knew that was part of it.
Yeah,
I didn't know the gratuity thing.
Nope,
I did figure that some of the
it is probably pooled and then distributed amongst the entire staff.
Okay,
so that's not just your server. Yeah. But also the guy that changes.
Okay, well, speaking as a person who's married to a person who's in the restaurant industry and whose stepdaughter is also in the restaurant industry, people fucking hate pool tips.
Yes.
Like as much as tipping is perhaps a flawed system, nobody likes pool tips because
you don't end up with your fair share.
You're right, because the person who earns the tip busted their ass.
Right.
And the person who did dick all still gets part of the tip.
Exactly.
Exactly.
All right. So we did not get to excursions. Maybe we'll do an excursions episode later.
Okay.
But we are at an hour, and
oh my gosh,
as internet polls show, we can't go more than an hour because then nobody wants.
Nobody cares. I don't even. Was anybody even watching tonight?
Not right now. Hi, nobody.
Hi. I mean, there's a one like. What was that from?
I don't know. It was a while ago.
Somebody liked it.
Thank you for liking our.
Thank you for liking our.
We had a couple of viewers at one point.
Oh, did we?
But yeah, we lost them. Well, I think one of them is making us a baguette right now.
Well, if they're making us a baguette, that's all right.
We should probably go eat that. But anyway,
I'm not gonna tip them though, am I? I already paid for that gratuity.
I guess. So that brings us to the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Oh God, I did all this work and I do not remember what next week's episode is. So why don't you take us away?
Hold on.
And I'll see if
okay.
I did send it to you.
Sent me a list. Hold on, maybe. Where was it at? There we go.
It was in Messenger. Actually, I did just send it to you not that long ago, so you should
did
find it.
Sometime in the last. Oh gosh. Well,
before that,
we
oh God, we just talked to you.
You sent me a bunch of bullshit.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, you got it. All right, so why don't you take us away? And
hey, Bill Has Opinions introduced. Here I'm again. Oh my God. No, Bill Has Opinions is engineered,
produced,
and produced by Laura Lavoie.
That's me.
The opinions of Bill are his and his alone, except for the ones they agreed on, and then they agreed. I don't know, fucking whatever. Anyways, be sure to like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Be sure to follow us on Facebook. Be sure to hashtag Can't Miss BillSh or just hashtag BillSh. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's fine.
Whatever.
We'll start that.
BillSh. Like nobody else is using that. I hope.
I hope not. We'll probably find out.
I mean, we'll see. We'll hit that. We'll have to check on that. Like, look it up. Like hashtag BillSh.
We could copyright it.
That's fucking Bill Gates. I bet he's like, oh, I'm full of BillSh. You know. Anyway, be sure to tune in next week. We're going to talk about the Wayback Machine. We're going to talk about the Internet of Days Gone By.
Yeah, all the old shit that
shit you forgot about, but you'll be like, oh fuck, I remember that now.
As Gen X people,
we're gonna get nostalgic for the internet.
We are gonna get nostalgic. I have a few things.
Oh, nostalgia.
We're gonna make some visual aids. It's gonna be fun.
Anywho, also be sure to I lost track.
You did lead. No, I think now we're just done.
Oh, is that it?
That's it.
All you gotta do. That's all you gotta do is tune in next week, and we'll see you then. And have a good week, I guess. Don't die.
Don't. We would prefer it.
That's actually, I stole that. Sorry, I stole that from the Throwing Shade podcast. They say that at the end. They say, "Don't die."
Don't die. Well, that's
because they don't want lose any of their.
Well, we only have two. We only have 2 viewers. So
anyway,
sometimes up to 4.
See you guys later.
See you next week.